Hey, do you remember when Papa Gut and Def Noodles had a debate and Papa Gut very clearly won it and showed how ignorant Dennis was, and he held on to that rage inside, you know, forever, the little grudge against Papa Gut forever? And do you remember, if we fast forward a bit to this week, when Def Noodles, who by the way, if you don't remember, is suing Keemstar for making a joke tweet referencing Dennis continuously calling out YouTubers for fake allegations. Do you remember when Keemstar made one of them about Dennis to show him how harmful it was when he does the other creative? Okay, so remember that. Remember when Dennis sued Keemstar in the ongoing lawsuit for that? You know, because he said that he was, you know, so hurt in his reputation very clearly for, you know, like fake allegations and being called like a P word. Do you remember that? Okay, so then, if you remember, when Dennis, Def Noodles, the comedian, started doing the exact same thing to Papa Gut this week? Okay, so we're caught up. Do you remember then when the backlash started and people started calling Dennis out for, yet again, making up false P-word accusations and throwing around the P-word and making fun of SA and stuff like that? Okay, do you remember when people were calling him out for that this week? Okay, what do you think he did? Let's take a little guess game. Do you think that Dennis retracted all of those statements, all of those jokes? Because keep in mind he's a comedian, right? Keep in mind he's a comedian. He told us many times. Do you think he retracted all that? Or do you think he doubled down on it and continued calling Papa Gut a P-word? And do you think he also would have, you know, in the video where Papa Gut is crying because he has done so much work for actual victims and the takedown of P-words online, and Dennis doing all this was very triggering, and Papa Gut was crying on camera because of how much this was affecting him, that Dennis just very clearly didn't care. And okay, so you remember that video? Do you think that Dennis ignored it, retracted it? Do you think he is continuing to double down on it and then take a screenshot of Papa Gut crying at the fact that listening to survivor stories? Do you think that Dennis screenshotted that, made that a meme, and is selling it on t-shirts? Okay, there we go. Little game for you. What do you think Dennis, the comedian, and the drama channel did? I'll leave you for a second. Because he did the latter. And Def Noodles is a bully. That is exactly what he is. And also, I just need to preface this. I don't even mean this to be rude, but he's just so unfunny. Dennis, Def Noodles, you are not a comedian. You will never be a comedian. And the reason is, you're not funny. We've seen your stand-up. And also, above all of that, because comedy can be subjective, you are a bully. You have now made drama channels like you turn on you. You have made journalists turn on you. Wait for it, because I'm getting to the big finale. You have made your entire audience turn on you. But the big catch is, you've made the H3 fandom turn on you. You've lost your entire demographic because you are continuing to harass and bully Papa Gut because you lost that debate with him a year ago and you already called him a P-word with no evidence, just, you know, for shits and giggles. And you're continuously calling him it because you called him it and you got a lot of backlash, but obviously you didn't want to retract it because that would go against your ego. So that's what we're dealing with today. Muckers, I made my last video on Def Noodles. Sorry for that long intro, but I just felt like there was no other way to start it than that. My last video on Def Noodles, I talked about all of this, and I honestly thought that, not because of my video, but after my video was made, you know, a lot of people were making videos as well before me, after me, a lot of people on Twitter. I thought Dennis was going to take a break and calculate what he was doing and move forward in a different way. No, this man is the worst. And he is a bully. And he is using his platform in a dangerous way now. He is now selling merchandise of Papa Gut crying because of Dennis being insensitive to SA and R-word victims. He's selling that on t-shirts. And above anything else, he's still calling Papa Gut a P-word and alluding to him being dangerous around children. Papa Gut, by the way, is another YouTuber on the platform. So, we are going to get to all the screenshots, but Def Noodles, sorry, I just need to focus on the fact that you've lost the H3 fandom. The H3 subreddit daily is filled with like 16 posts of people being like, I just had to unsubscribe, here's the reason. I can't believe, blah, 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 blah. And we're gonna get to all that. So first of all, we're gonna start with this tweet from Dennis that says the following. I want to thank all of the drama channels for making videos sensationalizing my jokes. Because again, he's a comedian. Do you remember his comedy show? I'm giggling because he's so funny because he's a comedian. Do you remember his stand-up show that he was so proud of that he used on Twitter for like an entire year as his pinned tweet, which was a comedy video of him in a comedy club where his entire bit was him walking around the stage singing a Lizzo song in different volumes? Like the comedy clip of Dennis, if you haven't seen it, I won't put you through it. He would be like, yeah, but boy problems. That's a human! That was, I'm laughing thinking about it. That was his stand-up comedy. Anyway, so keep in mind, so he wants to thank the drama channels for talking about his jokes. I've been trying to pivot away from drama for the last 7 months and you're all doing me a favor. The more drama seekers leave my pages, the less I have to cater to them. So please, keep it coming. Alright, great. So Dennis said, I've been trying to pivot away from drama. So let's take a little look at his YouTube channel. So we have James Charles, Ace Family, Gabby Hanna, Nikado Avocado, Tana Mojo. And by the way, these are all from the last week. Shane Dawson, James Charles, Tana Mojo, Austin McBroom, Nikado Avocado, Kylie Jenner, Gabby Hanna. But don't worry, y'all, he's pivoting away from drama whenever it's the only content that he is making right now and has ever made. Because he's a drama channel, like the rest of us. But now that's an insensitive thing, you know, for him to say, because he's like, he's a comedian, you know what I mean? So anyway, then we go on, and he's been doing a lot of tweets like this, which have been saying, I'm trying not to respond like this, and he's making a joke of Papa Gut crying over the fact of how little Dennis cares about SA and R-word victims. This is a screenshot from Papa Gut having a genuine moment on camera of pure upset and anger over the fact that Dennis is calling him a pedo. So then Dennis tweets, ABC123, will they get mad at this? Let's try. No crying allowed in the replies. Again, using this picture, but don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. He goes on. So he says, by the way, I appreciate all of the social media engagement that you're giving me on my Twitter. My account was banned for a year and shadow banned. It wasn't shadow banned. Your fan base, ex-fan base, are now commenting being like, you're not shadow banned, we've all left you. But don't worry, he's pulling the Gabby Hanna approach that he made fun of her for doing. But thanks to all of you, I recently trended twice on Twitter and I've reached 30 million impressions in 1 week. Couldn't have done this without you. Good job, Dennis. All it took was you harassing, belittling, and trying to destroy another man's life because you lost a debate a year ago. So you're willing to, oh my god, I'm trending on Twitter, because you're actively lying and calling people P-words, making jokes about SA and P-words. Like, if that's what it takes, good job, and I'm glad your audience are seeing that you're now doing everything that you call people out for doing. It goes on though, don't worry. So he then goes on and says the following. Alright, so a lot of people are basically tweeting that, he is being really fucking awful, and he's responding to everyone and being like, unsubscribe then, leave me then, do whatever. And I'm going to show you this video as well, where he is talking about the fact that if you're going to talk shit online, you may as well come to my studio and we'll have like a debate in person or whatever. And this is very clearly a man that is going through it. And you know what the thing is? Normally whenever I see that happening with people, I feel really sorry for you, but not whenever you're acting in the way that you're acting right now, because you are a very, very, very dangerous man with your platform. And for someone who has advocated for other people to lose their platform, it's ironic in how you're acting right now, and that, I'm not saying anything, but anyway, so just a quick scroll through his social media right now. Again, he's deleting so much because he's getting ratioed in absolutely everything, but there's still a lot of content on here. So, a simple scroll, by the way, is showing that he has flooded his timeline with nothing but the picture of Papa Gut crying, and oh, I've actually, yeah, okay, so I've scrolled past this video of him saying it, and I just remembered exactly how he acts in it, but he's so angry, and he's like shouting at the camera, and he's like, if you can handle the heat, bitch, come and talk to me. So it's really cringy, and I'm not going to put you through it. So he's responding to commentary channels that are calling him out, and saying, say it to my face then, say it to my face, I'll pay for your plane ticket, and you can fly out and say it to my face. So there's that as well. And he's also saying that these people have been talking shit about me for days. All it takes is that you're just obsessed with me and all you want to do is talk shit about me. Alright, and so then we'll go on as well, and he's responding to people and being like, cute, I'm gonna stop responding to you until you DM me and we can arrange the roast. So the people that are talking shit about him online, calling him out actually, now have to fly to his studio and fight him in person. So yeah, this is a very sane-minded person right now. So he tweeted, commentary tough guys who have so far buckled. Number 1, Nicholas, ran like a bitch. Number 2, Optimus, ran like a bitch. Number 3, Papagot, the one he's accusing of being a P-word with no evidence. Cried, tried to get me deplatformed. Alright, so there's that, and then he goes on and he says, this is just the beginning of the roast battles. Too many losers get away with being tough guys on the internet with Twitter fingers, saying shit that they can't back up. I'm building a platform where cowards will be weeded out and hopefully we'll get some entertaining content along the way. And then again, he's focusing on the fact that this is comedy and that he's a comedian, but the tweets are just really cringy to read. And then we have this, where he tweeted, actual photo of Papa Gut's car. And it is a white van that says free candy, and the news headline is about a P-word. So he is now again calling Papa Gut a predator and a P-word. It's all right here on his Twitter. And he's getting ratioed. He's not deleting it. Because, you know, he's a comedian, by the way. So here we have him celebrating that he's trending on Twitter. Def Noodles is trending for the 3rd day and nobody knows why. So this is all a game to him, and it's funny because he has now ruined his career. Nobody will take him seriously ever. Nobody in the comedy world wants to listen to him. Nobody now in the YouTube world. And for you to lose the H3 fans, which we'll get to in a second, you've now ruined your income. But don't worry, y'all. For the people that he's asking to come out to his studio and fight with him, he's asking them to pay $15. Money tight, Dennis? Money tight. Alright. So then Dennis tweets, I had to remove a bunch of tweets after Crybaby, so talking about Papa Gut, encouraged his fans to brigade my account and pleaded with Twitter and YouTube to have me deplatformed. I wonder why, Dennis. This motherfucker has been posting videos and tweets about me for months, and I start responding, and boom, he runs to mommy. Seems familiar. You're trying to insinuate that Papa Gut is like Keemstar here, whenever everyone in your audience is commenting that you're giving Keemstar, that you've turned into Keemstar. You are what you tried to defeat. Like I said in my last video, you became everyone you called out, Dennis. Congratulations, you've ruined your career. Congratulations, Dennis. You're a bully. That is exactly what you are. And the fact you're trying to go through that, I've been trying to pivot away from drama. Papa Gut tweets out, hello YouTube, I've been a target of a harassment campaign by another content creator. Papa Gut had every right to tweet this out, by the way. I don't take throwing around the word P and all this shit lightly. Papa Gut has every right to do this. And YouTube have every right to respond. Dennis is using his audience from YouTube to then start this campaign against Papa Gut. No one's doing a campaign against Dennis. He's doing this all to himself and people are responding. He's been openly calling me a P-word and is now threatening to make a video of him walking the streets asking people if I look like a P-word. And so then we go on and we have the screenshots of his tweets. Team YouTube responded saying, so sorry this happened. Harassment is something that we don't tolerate, YouTube, and the first step is to report. But don't worry. Something has now happened, which will probably get Dennis sued by Papa Gut. He is now selling Papa Gut's face, crying over R-word and SA victims, because it's funny to Dennis and he doesn't care about any of y'all who've gone through that. I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to you, and I'm sorry that I have to say that, because he's now selling merchandise. The Cry About It shirt. Now you can celebrate all the crybabies in your life with this one-of-a-kind piece for a limited time only. Now this isn't even just a bad joke. He's selling the shirt. And you can have it in black, or you can have it in white. Of a photo of Papa Gut crying, because Dennis has done nothing but make fun of being R-worded, SA victims, R-word victims, because he's throwing around all the terms to try one-up people. This is an awful, awful, awful person. An awful person. So anyway, he goes on and he tweets again that he's celebrating every single day that he's trending. These are all different tweets, by the way. So Dennis tweeted, you're suing someone for doing the same thing about people calling him out for suing Keemstar. He says, number 1, my bio says comedian. Dennis, you have never been funny, nor will you ever be funny. Yeah, I got boy problems. That's the human in me. Do we need to pull up your stand-up videos, Dennis? Of people laughing out of fear? You have never been a comedian. You see, Dennis is saying that he's a comedian because on Twitter, his Twitter says comedian. Which is funny, because if you go on my Twitter, it says social media influencer. Which I'm very clearly not. But it's a funny thing, because you can edit it to say whatever you want. I can change mine to say comedian. Dennis, you're not a comedian. So, he's a comedian, which is why he can call people P-words and claim it as fact. Number 2, since 2019, I've said that I've covered news as a joke and wasn't meant to be taken seriously. Okay, then great. Keemstar said it about you as a joke. But maybe I'll believe it at this stage. The same way people are believing what you're saying about Papa God. Maybe I do believe what Keemstar said about you. Maybe it is true, Dennis. The same way you're implying that this is really true about Papa God. How did I know what Keemstar said about you being a P-word wasn't true? Because you're now tweeting out, oh, because he said it as a joke too. Ha 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 ha. You are as bad as Keemstar because you're now throwing all this around. You're being like, it's a joke. You're making fun of R-wording, SA. You are disgusting. You're the worst person ever. Number 3, saying someone looks like a pedo isn't an accusation, especially when they objectively do look like a pedo. And then he includes more pictures of Papa God. Dare I continue to go on? Do you need to see anything else to prove that Dennis is not the worst? Dare I continue? There is more. But do I need to continue? Because you're getting the point, right? You're getting the point. But I will go on because there's more, don't worry. Alright, so Dennis says, but don't worry, I'm doing a man on the street next week, which is him walking through the street asking people questions, on Hollywood Boulevard to get to the bottom of this. Does Papa God look like a pedophile? Wonder what the results will be. It's a real tweet. It's still on his Twitter, by the way. I'll just give you a moment with that. Okay? Let's give you a moment. Let everything settle in. We're not done, but we'll let everything settle in right now because we're going very quickly because there's a lot. But don't let the shock value of this take away from these are things that he's saying as fact. But he's a comedian, he's so funny, and it's funny because whenever someone would call Dennis out, like 2 years ago, he did this really sad video. Kavos made me want to quit YouTube. Oh, Dennis, you know the way you got the support from, you know, all of Twitter because you were so sad that you almost wanted to quit YouTube because someone was, you know, making jokes about you? Well, you're not even making jokes about people anymore. You're saying they look like a P-word. You're taking to the streets of Hollywood Boulevard to ask people, does this person look like a P-word? Because you tweeted out a couple days that basically you thought Papa Goat was ugly. So, by the way, just for a reference, keep in mind he's also tagged the FBI, saying that they need to put Papa God on a watch list and that he looks mad suspicious. Okay. So, anyway, we're going to go on and we have the last tweet that I'm going to focus on right now. Oh, actually the last two. So, in a deleted tweet, and I had read this morning, and whenever I couldn't find it, I was going insane because it was one of the worst tweets I ever heard in my entire life. Luckily, someone responded to a deleted tweet and they've literally quoted it. Someone said, Dennis, imagine in a courtroom reading this aloud. Dennis tweeted that our client looked like a P-word, and then Dennis also went on to tweet that Papa God looks like an alcoholic Santa Claus who touches at the mall. So that was another tweet he did. And then the final tweet that he did was, nobody is slandering you, Papa God. Saying you look like a P-word doesn't mean you're an actual P-word. I can say that you're a fire extinguisher. That doesn't make you a fire extinguisher. He's so funny. He's so funny. He's a comedian. He's a comedian. You're a low IQ moron who wants to comment on stuff without even understanding language. Now go cry to mommy YouTube, you P-word looking MF with this photo again. Now, this screenshot was actually the two tweets that I didn't see, but it was the H3 subreddit that had uploaded them. This is on the H3 subreddit with like 2,000 upvotes and like hundreds of comments. That's where I find that one, the H3 subreddit. That was not something I'd seen on Twitter, but again, there were so many deleted and then whatever. So thank you, H3 subreddit, for showing that. And the H3 subreddit are all just like, I cannot believe I ever supported this person. Now, the final thing I'm going to show you is Papa Got responding. It's only like a minute long, but this is what we're going to end it on. And if you still choose to support Dennis after this, that's on you. That'll be on you. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. Alright, let's get to the video. This is Papa Got responding to Dennis now selling merchandise of Papa Got crying over Dennis not taking S.A. and R-word seriously enough. This is only, sorry, it's 2 minutes. Alright, here we go.
Sure. Okay. I guess Dennis has decided to make a t-shirt at this point. Oh, okay. Good for you. I imagine I should be able to get a cut of this, no? Okay. Of me crying. And this is like the 10th time that he's put this up. I think that he thinks it upsets me, but I want to explain to you why this like reflects very poorly on Dennis. There's a few other instances of it. I know it's just meant to like provoke me and rile me up. At this point, I'm probably better off just like suing him and not really giving this anymore, right? Because it's just kind of pathetic. So this is in reference to the response video that I made that you can watch. It's called like Death Noodles is a Bad Person. And I get really emotional. I get upset, I cry. And the reason is because I see what he says on stream and I start going into a conversation about how like this is invalidating two survivors, which I've said multiple times in this video.
But Dennis doesn't care about survivors.
Trying to explain to people why I'm so invested in this conversation about sexual assault survivors. Right? So I have to say it again. It's not something I like to do. But here's the thing. The reason that I get really emotional is in recalling this, I recall a conversation with somebody that I love very much.
This is what Dennis is now making merchandise about.
Of a violent rape. And how when they told me that story, I got upset and I got angry and I wanted to hurt the person who did that. And I remember them saying like, "Are you okay?" I hate telling the story. Sorry, I laugh because I get like nervous. I don't want to get emotional again. Which really made me feel horrible. Because like, wow, this person is telling me like a deep story, and I made it about me somehow. I think that's something that a lot of people who love people who have these traumas experience, and try not to go in that direction. Because it's not, you don't want to do that. And then afterwards, they looked at me and they asked me this question. This part really makes me, this is the worst part for me. And she asked me, "Do you think I was raped?" That shit tears me up, man. Drops, sorry. Tears me up, okay? And, like, that's why I got emotional. And so I want you guys to understand that, like, yeah, Def doesn't like me, whatever, he's making a joke. And it is what it is. Like, it's annoying, but it is what it is, man. And it's fine. But, like, that's why, like, you understand that this is a pattern in a series of invalidating, generally invalidating, like, kind of rhetoric from Death Noodles. He doesn't really care about you as a survivor.
Nope.
He doesn't really care about listening. It's very much about his ego.
Yep.
It's very much about his ego. And that's it.
So there you go. Death Noodles has now made merchandise, profiting off of the moment of Papa Got recalling a victim telling him their story. And Dennis is now selling merchandise of that moment. I'll leave you with that. I'll leave you with that.